Marketing That Works is the podcast for business owners who want to move their brand forward so that they can bring in more sales and clients. I'm Danielle Harris, and I'm bringing you what I know from more than 12 years of experience in traditional and online marketing. I have created marketing strategies for businesses of all sizes, from multi-million-dollar corporations to early-stage online businesses. Remember, some marketers chase fads. I believe in mastering the fundamentals.
You're ignoring one of the best ways to grow your business: networking. Networking is one of the most tried and true ways to connect with people, find your visibility, and get new clients. But in-person networking is something a lot of coaches and service providers ignore. If you haven't ventured over into networking events yet, you should absolutely make it a priority this year. I see it being the year of in-person events, specifically for business owners who started during the pandemic. Getting together is going to be even more important. So, in this episode, I'm going to break down the benefits of doing in-person networking events and how to prepare to get the most out of them. One of the benefits of attending in-person networking is that you broaden your business's realm of possibility because you can start meeting new people in businesses and niches that you never thought of. When you're new to business or realize that you want to change who you're targeting, going to networking events can be a great way to see what's possible by getting in front of new people. In an afternoon, you can make connections with people you might not have otherwise found. You can also envision yourself working with people you may never have even thought of otherwise. I have a client who runs a media agency and has been attracting coaches and done-for-you service providers as her main clients. However, she's exploring pivoting on who she works with. Specifically, she's looking for more corporate clients. Not only that, the type of business owners she wants to attract aren't really hanging out on Instagram or online. So, she's meeting them where they are, networking events. By going to these events, she can learn several key pieces of information. For example, who should she be targeting and who would decide to actually hire her? She can also learn what aspects of her offers are most attractive and what their most pressing problems are, all by having a few conversations at an in-person networking event. Learning this information would have taken her much longer if she hadn't gone. For example, finding the right people to do market research calls with virtually would have taken a while. And gathering and searching for this information online would not have given her the specific results and data she needs. With networking, my client was able to have honest conversations in a relaxed environment and get so much valuable insight on potential new markets in a single afternoon. Not only that, but she also has new connections that can turn into clients in the future. Now, another benefit of going to networking events is that you get immediate feedback. So here's what I mean by immediate feedback. You'll be able to walk into an event, have conversations with people, and walk away knowing whether or not what you talked about landed with people. I had a client. She was an organizational culture consultant who worked with mid-sized corporate clients. I worked with her one-on-one on her elevator pitch and messaging for her business. And one of the strategies I suggested was testing out the pitch and messaging at networking events. I told her, go introduce yourself to people, say your pitch, and see what type of response you get. She went, she said her pitch, and she continued talking about her messaging that we developed together during our sessions. So when she came back to our next session, she had so much feedback. She told me that the pitch we worked on together captured the attention of the people she was talking to. And when she continued on the conversations, she told me exactly which parts of the messaging were getting a better response than others. This information alone was great feedback to help tweak her messaging and refine it even more at the next event that she went to. She also could take that feedback and apply it to her online content across platforms. She can use what she learned and turned it into a post on LinkedIn or even a reel on Instagram, and it would be so powerful because it was informed directly by ideal clients. This not only helped her with her elevator pitch and messaging, but it also helped with what she was focusing on for her consulting services. She now had better insight into what ideal clients were looking for when it came to the work that she does. Receiving this type of feedback often takes weeks or even months in the online space. But by attending a networking event, my client got that same information in a weekend. And these are just a few of the many benefits of attending in-person networking events. My clients have been able to reach audiences they otherwise wouldn't have had access to. And they've been able to get immediate feedback on messaging and elevator pitches. They've also been able to see how interested people are in their services, and were able to do it in a short amount of time. Now that I've broken down some of the reasons you should be attending networking events, I want to share with you how you can find the right ones to attend, no matter how new you are to networking. I find that clients usually fall into 3 different categories when it comes to their readiness to network. They're either overwhelmed by networking, or they're open to it but not sure where to start, or they are fully in their networking era. And before we go any further, I just want to be clear that there is an event that will work for you. And what I'm about to break down for you here shows just how approachable networking can be. When I think about the first type of person, the one that's overwhelmed by networking, it makes me think of one client in particular. Just the thought of it was just so overwhelming for her. But at the same time, it was something that she kind of wanted to do. So just to get her started with the whole networking thing, I encouraged her to go to an alumni networking event for her college. I like to suggest this specifically for people who feel overwhelmed by networking because you already know you have one thing in common with everyone attending. This gives you an easy in onto how to start conversations with people. You can go with, what dorm did you stay in? Or what year did you graduate? Or did you have that professor? Going to this kind of networking event gets you in the habit of going to events and makes you more comfortable. And the goal isn't to do your elevator pitch or perfectly land a client, but to get you in the habit of going to events and have it feel less overwhelming. You can get the same result by going to events around a hobby, a knitters meetup, a K-pop fan meeting, or something that really interests you. Now, the second category of people I find fall into open to it, but not exactly sure where to start. If this is you, I have a few suggestions. Meetup.com is a great resource to find networking events in your area based on your specific needs. The same goes for Network After Work. These are both nationwide and have a vast directory of events you can attend. I'll include links to both in the show notes. Also, if you're looking for something based on your niche, look for a local association. So for example, if I were looking for a mentor in the marketing field, I would look up the local American Marketing Association chapter for their events. Or if you were a leadership coach for high-achieving women of color, I'd find a local chapter of an association that centers on that type of person, like the National Association for Women Business Owners. The trick here is establishing a goal for attending, but I'll get into that in a second. Now, the third category I often see are those that are in their full networking era. I have a client who is currently in that phase, and she loves going to all types of networking events. And one of the places she goes to find her next event is her local chamber of commerce. In her town, there is a thriving association, and other businesses in the chamber also host events. She's able to fill her calendar between networking events hosted by the chamber, events hosted by local co-working spaces, and events hosted by people she's met at other events. By going to these things, she's able to find clients, find organizations she can do workshops with, and find supporters for events that she hosts. All because she's a regular at her local events. People see her and start to know her. So if you're a social butterfly and ready to start networking now, try looking at your local chamber of commerce or small business association. This will help you get a good understanding of what your local community has to offer. And you'll also be able to have a good way to see if you have people interested in working with you that you may not have actually considered. And like any other action you take to grow your business, it makes sense to be strategic with what kind of events you do. You may be networking to find clients. Maybe you're networking to find mentorship or advice, or you could be looking to find a business partner. Knowing your reason for networking is going to inform where you look for these events. So if you're a videographer, going to a conference for videographers may be a great way to find mentors and partners, but not necessarily a great way to find clients. If you want to find clients, you might choose to go to, say, a networking event with a chamber of commerce where you know your ideal client will be. So just to recap, if networking feels overwhelming, try going to events around something you're interested in or you have an identity around. Other options include going to your local small business association or chamber of commerce, as well as using sites like Network After Work or Meetup. And to find events based on a niche you're in or where you want to break into, find a local association based on that niche. As someone who worked in the association space for a decade, there is literally an association or organization for everything. You can find one no matter the industry. And lastly, be clear about if you're networking to find mentorship or networking or to find clients. Now that you know how to find the networking event you'll attend, I want you to know how you should prepare. Similar to what I said before, intention is everything. Someone going to learn more information on a new niche is going to prepare differently than someone who's going just for event vibes. Setting an intention is how you'll know if going to an event was helpful and worth going to again. And this intention doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as, I just want to get in the habit of going to a networking event. Or it could be, I want to do specific research. Once you have your objective, come ready with some questions. Especially if you are attending a networking event to do market research on a new niche or are looking to find new clients, coming ready with questions can help you be more prepared and actually get the information that you want. For my agency owner client who is changing audiences, during one of our sessions, we came up with a list of questions that would give her insight into the new audience she wants to work with. We came up with not only a list of questions, but who she should actually be talking to when she asks them. So for example, because her agency is in the media space, she wanted to learn more about how they were looking at their marketing. She focused on asking questions about their marketing approach, their marketing channels, and their views on new forms of media. She also asked about what they tried in the past and whether they went in-house or agency for these services. Of course, when we prepared these questions, we made them less blunt and practiced working them into conversation. Coming up with these questions helped to ground my client and make sure that she kept her intention. She was so concerned that if she went to this networking event without a plan, she would leave with nothing to show for it. Walking into this event with these questions kept her focused. Having answers to even a few of these questions would mean that she accomplished what she wanted. And the last thing you should do as you prepare for an event is come ready to give back. A lot of people feel awkward attending these events because they feel selfish. Going for personal reasons and getting clients' information just makes them feel weird. But you should walk into networking events prepared to give information and advice just as much as you receive. This is the key to good and effective networking. I was talking to a client not too long ago about how she was able to make great connections with people simply by being helpful, recommending a platform, suggesting a person to work with, simply being of service when she could without any expectation of getting anything in return. Going into networking events with that attitude resulted in my client building a network of people she can now rely on, which then in turn makes attending networking events that much more fun and fulfilling. Being successful at your first or next networking events starts with being prepared. And the best way to do that is by setting an intention, knowing what you'll ask people, and then being of service. When you do those three things, you'll walk into whatever event confident and prepared to interact with whoever you meet. So, now you are equipped with what you need to add to your networking marketing plan this year. It can be such a great tool to meet people in a niche you want to enter and give you quick feedback on your elevator pitch, your services, or your messaging. And when you go to an event with clear intentions and armed with questions, you know you'll walk away with exactly what you need. I've helped my clients prepare for in-person networking events while they worked with me one-on-one in my marketing and messaging program, The Blueprint. While working together, we drafted elevator pitches, refined messaging talking points, and crafted marketing research questions, all designed to attract dream clients. During this 3-month program, you will get personalized feedback on what types of events you should go to based on your marketing goals, and together we'll make sure you're getting the exact information you need to grow your business. Head to the show notes and book a call to work with me. On this call, we'll talk about how you can start using networking in your marketing strategy. Not only that, you'll learn how you can leverage your story and create a deeper connection during these events so that you can start working with dream clients. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.
If you want more marketing that works right in your inbox, head to the show notes and sign up for the email list. You'll be the first to know how you can work with me on mastering your marketing.